Hello there, quarantiners, and welcome back to another episode of Shared Tangos. It's episode number 13. Today we're talking patch 7.25C and all sorts of other news updates that have been happening in the Dota space. We've got Trent back again, the baby daddy, working hard at home. How's it going, big dog? How goes the quarantine life?
Well, currently I just opened Twitter and saw that Jofi was asking why Cap cut his hair. Haas said, I'm betting it's the COVID-19 buzz. Can't go out for a cut. Can't be shaggy on camera. And I'm replying, I think Jovi's onto something. He's trying to look like an Easter egg.
Wow. You got him.
That's currently what I'm up to.
I also had a fun morning on Twitter. Thank you, B-Cop, for scaring me as I woke up. That was the first thing I saw this morning. At Zyori TV, it's happening. No punctuation, no context. And then he followed up that there's a massive server outage today on the East Coast in terms of internet. And yeah, that's like the one doomsday scenario in this whole thing that really freaks me out. What happens if the continent loses internet? What do we do? My credit cards won't work, Trent. How will I buy things? How will I get groceries?
How will you order beer directly to your house like I did last night? How awesome is that? All the breweries have started home delivery.
Delivery.
Oh, man, every time I went to get groceries, it was like, because they only let so many people in the liquor store, there's like this lineup outside, so you'd have to stand outside for like 10 or 15 minutes just to get in for beer, and I'm not that desperate for beer, you know. I love myself some beer, but I don't need it that bad.
Yeah.
But every time I go to the grocery store, there's always this line, and at this point, I got tired of it, and then I found out they're doing home delivery. It's like, well, of course I'm just going to get home delivery. I buy their beer at the liquor store anyway. Oh, what a win.
There you go, dude. The upsides of being locked inside. It's been a kooky time. Now, before we dive into the patch, I want to ask if you caught that one piece of glorious content made by none other than Sir Action Slacks, the BTSD short that made it on Reddit.
I did.
I thought that was quite... Now, for those of you that have not seen this clip, I highly recommend you open up another tab and pop it up right now. It's very short. But it captures the essence of what I think has been going on at ESL with the limited talent pool, the very long hours, Grant carrying the show with the energy, and everyone else BTSD'd. Poor Brian. Fucking BSJ. Now, the reason I want to talk about this clip, though, is because I talked to Slacks about it. I was on the phone with him yesterday, and I complimented his hard work on this brilliant piece. And he said, you know what, man? I'm getting so fucking tired of these 30-second shit posts getting 10 times the viewership of my highly written, edited, post-produced content. If you look at the Half-Life Alex videos that Sir Action Slacks put out, a 9-piece series, very low viewership.
Oh, no.
BTSD,
really?
His most viewed piece in the last 30 days of releasing content. It took him about 30 seconds to make, and it's a 30-second clip. Where are we going with content, Trent? I've also been getting commercials, and I don't use ad blocker. Have you seen this platform called Quibi? Do you know about Quibi, Trent?
I've seen it referenced in a couple tweets, but no, I don't really know what it is.
So I've just recently learned about Quibi. And apparently
I have heard of this.
It's this new trendy platform where they're trying to take television-level production, like proper TV shows, but the format is ultra short. I think there's a hard cap of 10 minutes or something like that. It's like 5 to 10-minute episodes for these shows. So it's sort of like TikTok is to Instagram as Quibi is to Netflix shows, sort of. That's not a perfect analogy, but it's like high-level production, but super short and digestible. And then you got Is the whole world just going short attention span, Trent? Is this long-form content going out the window? I don't understand.
Probably gonna be like where we're peaking. Like this is gonna be like the equivalent of jumping the shark. Of Quibi will be like everyone will get into it maybe, and then suddenly there'll be this big collapse of just like, okay, I need some like decent longer form content, and we'll normalize back out to 30 minutes again.
I hope so. Because I don't know much about Quibi. I haven't watched any of this, so I think it's a subscription service. So I think you have to pay to watch most of the shit. It's also interesting to me that they're advertising on Twitch. Isn't that kind of like YouTube buying ad space on Twitch to go watch videos on YouTube?
Well, I think Twitch would say that it's like production stuff, whereas Twitch isn't necessarily usually like pre-recorded production. It's like, you know.
Okay,
focused on something
that's
else,
true.
like a game or something.
Yeah. But it was an interesting little conversation, and I didn't have any advice for the big guy. It's a rare occasion that I genuinely feel bad for slacks, and this was one such occasion.
Yeah. I mean, part of that is that our big forum that we use is Reddit, and anything that's longer than 2 sentences on Reddit is ignored by most people.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
And then you also have the fact that if I don't feel like reading something, I just press the downvote button, and if 3 other people do that, your post just vanishes forever.
Yes, that is also true.
Like, Reddit is a absolutely awful site in terms of content. Like, if you want to see all content, then Reddit's terrible. And that's fine, because that's not what Reddit was made for. Reddit's supposed to be like the front page of the internet. These are things that are interesting to everyone, and that's why you press upvote, and that's why it shows at the top. And then as it got broken down into smaller sub-communities of like trying to have the same topic, no matter what you do, that's still going to end up being like the whole philosophy of the site, because that's just how it's designed.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it isn't really made to be the platform that drives, the 60-minute viewers to, podcast content and stuff like that necessarily. But I don't know. I think part of it is, do you feel like a lot of content creators, gamers, whatever, are clinging to what I would call the Total Biscuit model? Total Biscuit had Total Biscuit fans. It didn't matter what game he was talking about or playing or reviewing. People were there for him, his
like
content, his attitude. And here in Dota, I feel like we're very siloed in our own world. And sometimes it's we're constantly lying to ourselves that our fans care about us. But really,
100%.
they just care about Dota and our relation to Dota.
Yeah, like BSJ, for example. I mean, when he was streaming Dota consistently, he had like 3,000 viewers?
Mm-hmm.
Past couple weeks, I've seen him streaming occasionally. I saw him with under 100 viewers watching, playing some Hearthstone or something one night.
Damn.
Which to me is insane for someone like BSJ.
Damn. I mean, the Half-Life Alyx thing was a perfect little case study of this for Slacks, because it's a game that he genuinely likes. I think the content, if you're into his style of content, is pretty engaging.
It's hilarious.
Post-produced, edited by the great C-Tech, the Norwegian mastermind behind a lot of the Moonduck edited content. And the viewership just isn't there. I think those videos were a legit financial loss, especially if you factor in the time it took to make all the source footage for him to edit. And I don't know. Every time I hear stories like that, I'm just kind of like, damn, how do you fix that?
Yeah, it's kind of like if you look at the things, part 1, 50,000 views. Part 2, 7.5 views. Part 3, 5.2. Part 4, 4.2. Like, just slowly dwindles.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's just an interesting little anecdote. And as someone who's basically all in on Dota in terms of my career, it scares me a little bit. I want to believe that we're slowly amassing a fan base that will move with us wherever we go. And every time I think that that's my reality, I get woken up and realize that that's really just a dream.
Yeah. Yeah, no cares. I mean, you have some fans, but you get an overinflated sense when you stream Dota. Like, if I turn on my stream in the middle of the night and I stream Dota pubs, I can get like 400 or 500 viewers sometimes. When I get up in the morning, I do like some C pubs. Like when I used to do that occasionally, it was not unusual for me to hit 400 or 500, 600 viewers. But if I did the same thing, I just played Smash, I'll get like 30 or 40.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, that's not fine. Bad though. 400 or 500 viewers on a personal stream. You're just watching pubs and looking at replays and shit. That's
yeah, but that's
solid.
only because of Dota, and because no one else was in that time slot when I used to do it.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. You have these little pockets.
I'd be competing with I'd like basically no one.
Right, no English streamers at least.
Yeah.
No, that's definitely true. I've been enjoying streaming the last couple of days. It's fun when you get over that little hump. Streaming to 5 or 10 viewers really isn't that fun. You feel like you're just talking to yourself. It's sort of maddening in a weird way. But when you get up to that, like, I'd say 20 to 30 chatters is really that sweet spot. When you can say,
good.
Boys, what item should I buy? And you get 5 or 6 different messages right away, and they start arguing about what items are good. To me, that's the sweet spot of when streaming is really fun. And I'm sure it scales past that, but I think there's a certain point where you lose that because chat's just moving too quickly, and you can't really engage in that same, like, hey, give me advice and let's go back and forth a few times before I buy the item. There's a certain peak of popularity that I think makes streaming a really great hobby. After that, it just becomes fucking stressful.
Your stream was fantastic last night. Apollo, you were there. I was loving that stream. I went into the kitchen at, I think it was 10:30, because I was going to clean the kitchen and I was going to put something on to watch. And you were streaming. I was like, oh, it's Zyri. I'll see what he's up to. And I forget what that first game was, but you were building some god-awful items or something. I think when I joined, it was that crazy game that was like 80 minutes long or something.
Dude, I was telling Carlo about that game. It really was one of the wildest Dota games. There are 4 rapiers, all bought by the same person. The Kunk on my team farmed 2 rapiers and then lost them. And as soon as he respawned, he right-clicked the third one because he had a bank of 8,000 gold. And we held out and we wiped him again, took the rapiers back, and then he bought another one, and it was maddening. That was the game where our position 3 was AFK during the draft, random Nyx assassin, which properly triggered my entire team for the first 40 minutes. And then he went on to build a butterfly and went on to be one of the most passive-aggressive, toxic bastards I've ever played with, making that game
my favorite part
so good.
Was when he would Vendetta the Weaver, and then he'd go for the stun, but he'd miss, and he wouldn't carapace while the Weaver just Shikuchi'd right through him like 3 times.
Dude, I mean, to be fair, the poor guy's probably never played Nyx before, but yeah, the best part, though, really, was the end, where we had the Book of the Dead, we got Megas, the Throne's at 50%, the Juggernaut is off by himself zoning him, and he goes, guys, let's just retreat and regroup. And
back and reset.
And we're like, how about you just click the Throne 3 times and we fucking get out of this living hell, you crazy bastard. That was the high of winning that game, Trent. That was seriously like, this is what Dota's for.
I love those games, man.
Hours later, I was trying to go to bed last night. Hours later, watching Ozark, just like, we fucking did it, dude. That was, it just like, it amped me up. It elevated my status.
Those games are the essence of Dota. Those games are why Dota is so good. And no other game has given me anything close to that. Like, there's so many games like that I can remember that stick out. Like, when people shit talk you, and then you you end up firing back at them, and then you win the game. Like, oh, it feels so good.
The other best part was the tier 5 item, the pirate hat. Our Juggernaut had it. We won a team fight. This is when we lost the rapiers. He goes, guys, I killed 3 of them. I stole 300 gold from all of them. There's no way they have buyback at 65 minutes. So we go running up the high ground. Of course, they all have buyback, and they slaughter us and take the rapiers again. And it's just like, that might be the most perfect example of why the pirate hat is the biggest fucking meme tier 5 item in the game. By the time you get it, stealing 300 gold is borderline insignificant.
Yeah.
150 attack speed is pretty cool, but that's the only time I've ever heard somebody legit get baited by the pirate hat. Guys, I stole all their gold! Let's go! That poor fucking bastard. Heart you, Juggernaut. You were a great teammate, but Jesus Christ, that shit. I laughed so hard.
Oh, man. Yeah, that was highly recommend the Zyri stream, guys. It's so funny watching you play because you just, like, you buy the exact opposite of items that I would buy. And I get so tilted, and I try and recommend items for you, but then I just stop. If you buy something else, I'm not gonna like harp on you the rest of the game or whatever. But it's just like, ugh. But it's funny to watch and then go, okay, well, if I had this item here, this would have happened, or you know, interesting.
I like streaming too because you can let the rage out to the stream. You know, I can be positive to my teammates and then talk shit about them behind their backs to my viewers.
Ah, the slacks.
Yes.
Except then eventually slacks just started doing it in the game.
I see. Is that the natural evolution? Am I on a dangerous road?
That's what
here?
happened. I mean, you've played with them.
But no, it's been good. I love it when I'm enjoying Dota pubs. It's a really good feeling to wake up and just have that genuine, like, I don't really care about MMR. I don't care about, like, I got some EP, and it's just like, I just want to play some Dota and have some fun. That is a really good feeling, and it's sort of my personal barometer of what is the current state of Dota. And right now, it honestly feels pretty fucking good. Am I alone in this? I know like Seb and some others were talking about this patch really sucks. I think the rubber band mechanic with experience has been bothering some pro players, but on an anecdotal level, I've actually been loving it.
I think it's so far like all these changes have been working out well. Like ever since neutral items, like the very first neutral item patch was the okay, well, what the heck is this patch? What's going on? And then we got rid of those side outposts.
Mm-hmm.
Those were like mega questionable. I think ever since then, with the removal of the side outposts, everything's just been getting better and better and better.
Yeah.
I agree. The gold and the XP changes are one thing that it's still too early to tell. Like how much better that's going to be. At least for me personally, I haven't gotten to watch enough like Tier 1 Dota.
Yeah.
Because the one game I did see where OG made a big comeback versus Bait kind of made me question some of that stuff.
Dude.
Because OG were turtling pretty damn hard. And I was like, is this really going to work again? Like, I know they're kind of famous for making this work, but they got that one streak kill on Excalibur, I think it was, right?
Yep.
And then it was like, oh, yeah, easy game.
Dude, that was exactly the moment in that game 3 that I felt like, oh my God, this shit is just over. That was a wild series, Bait versus OG. I think basically everyone expected it to be a slaughter in favor of OG. And of course, it's OG with some stand-ins. 33 was playing, Soxa was playing. There was no Topson, Seb's off lane. So it's not full OG, but still heavy favorites against Bait. Game 1 was just OG just kind of won. It wasn't really anything spectacular. Game 2 was super exciting to watch because they went for the meepo pick on Bait, one of Excalibur's classics. They picked it when there were 4 heroes showing on OG, and it looked like a damn perfect meepo game. They're just like, all right, they got Ember Spirit, they got Wind Ranger, and 2 other shitters that don't do anything against meepo. And then they last picked Tide Hunter, and they put the Tide mid, and then put the Ember Spirit on position 5. Did not look great. You didn't see that shit? No Tail played the support Ember Spirit with a safe lane position 1 Sumail Wind Ranger. It was not
funny.
It was not great. Obviously, they wanted to pick the Ember as a core, but meepo just dumpsters him in lane. So they had to pull the ejector seat.
They're trying to do like this Void Spirit stuff, the position 5 Void Spirit I've seen a few times.
Yeah, but I have to say, dude, the core Tide Hunter, they almost brought that shit back because I think OG took the first barracks in that game despite Bait being pretty far ahead in net worth. It's because they couldn't kill the Tide Hunter. Anchor Smash, once you get that level 15 talent where it reduces even more damage, pretty effective against meepo. And they just, like, there was one team fight where Excalibur spent 30 seconds chasing the Tide Hunter around. They killed him, but all of his friends died also. I mean, Excalibur's friends. Like, the Tide was just so beefy, they couldn't stop him. He got a Desolator, and he was a proper fucking core. They weren't able to win in the end. Dendy's Quap was enough damage to kill the Tide, then they pushed for the win. But it was a sweater. I even said to myself during that draft, okay, if Bait lose this game, this is like the perfect meepo game. I'm a little nervous for my boys, and they were barely able to squeak it out.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of what I mean as well about Tier 1 Dota. It's like, obviously, they're kind of clowning, right? Like,
hey, how dare you? I think they
the
were
right
playing
rosters.
at full capacity.
I mean, when are we even going to get, like, Tier 1 Dota again? There's a question.
I don't know.
The only time we can get Tier 1 I mean, Tier 1 Dota, land-wise, is still going to be a long ways away. I'm not even hoping for that. I just mean, like, full rosters and online.
Yeah.
Like, that means you're going to wait for travel restrictions to lax just between the countries that the team members are in, and maybe they can travel to, like, their proper region and get in a team house and stuff. But aside from that, like, I don't know. I mean, obviously everyone's main thought, I'm sure, is TI. Is like, you know, can TI happen?
Yeah. Still no announcement on TI. I'm a little surprised. Like, has there been anything? Did I miss it? I think we're just still in limbo.
No, we're still in limbo. But I mean, they haven't sold any tickets. I agree that people tend to buy their like tickets at Airbnbs like super early and stuff. So maybe there is some merit to announcing early. But like, the only way TI can happen is if you can guarantee that like 99% of the players can make it. Is it even fair if it's not 100%? You don't even know who the players are. You don't know what countries are taking proper precautions and which ones aren't. It's not going to be, you know.
It's just so hard to predict.
It's not just Sweden.
That's like, I keep thinking back to the last What the Duck where Sunsfan was like, well, just reschedule it for December. It's like, that's an even bigger gamble. How do we know that things are going to be okay in December? And like you said, in that specific country, most of the world could be okay, and maybe Sweden has some issue or some border problem, right, where certain countries can't enter. I think you're right. That's even worse if you do TI with 2/3 of the teams. That's like against the spirit of what TI is supposed to be.
Yeah, it's either visas that knock people out or nothing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I agree with you though. I've been trying to watch some of the ESL stuff, and obviously I'm very invested in bait, so I've been watching those games. But it does feel a little shitty not having full rosters to the point I have trouble really caring about the outcomes. You know, I see
I'm still having a
EG.
lot of fun when I get to watch.
I mean,
Like,
the
if I
matches
had
have been
more
good.
time, I would still watch way more. Like, I'm definitely enjoying what I get to watch.
It's not that the quality of Dota is bad. It doesn't feel. It feels very different from when I'm watching a minor or a minor qualifier where I know what's on the line and that there's
Yes.
real ramifications for this. And oh, this could be the run for JStorm or Business Associates to qualify for TI. Like that really gets me going. The single elim bracket kind of thing. Just watching group stage shit with teams that have like coaches playing instead of the tier 1 players is, you know, no offense to the coaches, but
Yeah.
I kind of don't care. I hate to
It'll
say
be a
it.
lot better once like the playoffs start for these leagues for sure.
True, very true. But yeah, I guess the viewership's still been pretty good. Archie tweeted at me the other day that given what we're facing with rosters, the viewership has been pretty damn good, which makes sense, right? People are at home, they don't have much else to do. It's still pretty entertaining Dota. The talent pool for the coverage has been great. So it makes sense people are still tuning in. But on a personal level, I usually like watching DPC events more than I like playing Dota. I feel the opposite right now. I'm way more excited about playing than I am about watching. And that's rare for me.
Yeah, that makes sense in the current conditions. I can see that. Well, playing Dota means that you have patches.
Yeah. All right. So
Now,
7.25C.
Yeah, you're my expert here because of all of the Dota you've been playing with these very heroes.
So
you know?
the key item that I have not been buying that seems to be all the rage is Ring of Tarask. We finally hit this finally hit this point where casual Ring of Tarask is fucking legit.
Yeah, it started like popping off in a bunch of builds. Everyone was building it first, and it's on a lot of the pro games. So of course it got rounded up into this this nerf, but it's pretty much a blanket 0.25, right? Everyone's health regen. The ring of regen got knocked down, which affects a bunch of items.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we're at. And then the ring of regen or the ring of Trask at the 0.5, the big hit.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a coefficient patch, of course. The C's and D's are generally like this. Nothing too crazy, mostly number tweaks. I'm not surprised to see Headdress nerfed again. And it was double nerf. So Ring of Regen took a 0.25 regen hit. Headdress took a full 0.5 regen hit. So the item itself is just slowly getting knocked down to reality. Headdress was so fucking busted 2 patches ago. I don't even know what the word is for how good it was compared to where it's at now. Like, is the goal from Ice Frog here just to make it so Headdress isn't your default starting item every game? And if so, how do you change it to get it to that point?
Well, if so, what was the point?
Yeah.
Like, I don't really get it either, to be honest. It's like, why does Ring of Regen even exist now? Like, at what point is Headdress just gonna become Ring of Regen and Headdress is gonna replace all the recipes? I don't know. They kind of look like the same item now.
Yeah, you're kind of right. I don't think you really feel a 0.25 difference between the Ring of Regen. Oh, I got the Headdress upgrade, but of course it's the aura aspect. Especially like you're 4 and 3. If one of you starts with a buckler, one of you starts with a Headdress, the value is fucking insane. Are aura items just busted at level 1? Wasn't Ring of Basilius the same way? It was like the best level 1 item for ages. Partially because it's a goddamn aura. You get double value out of it compared to any other starting item.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess, are we just gonna play some game of like we're matching auras and like it's kind of like lane matchups where you're just hoping that you're gonna have the items that match up better versus them with your 2 heroes?
I mean, I kind of feel like aura items at level 1 don't need to exist. I don't know how. I think that's the fundamental problem. If you make the numbers to the point where that's inconsequential, then okay, Headdress is now just sort of a useless item. But why don't we just say you can't buy aura items until level 4 or some shit?
Well, or just change the items so they're not affordable.
That too. There you go.
Back to their older versions. Yeah, I don't know. It feels like we're replacing regen. We just have like more versions of regen now. I'm not sure how to feel about these items at this point.
Yeah.
I don't really care. It doesn't really impact my life, but that's where we're at. We're basically in a game of rock paper scissors of aura matching.
Yeah.
So
No,
there
it
we go.
definitely feels that way. Royal Jelly took a small hit. I didn't quite understand. This was
Same thing.
It's a .25 nerf, so just to keep it commensurate with Ring of Regen. I didn't feel like Royal Jelly was particularly strong, but there you go. So Vlad's offering recipe increased 100 gold. Another nerf to auras. Necronomicon nerfed slightly. Strength that you get from the item reduced a little bit. Bigger one, Dust of Appearance.
Well, I will say the Necro nerf is like a direct. That's a pretty harsh nerf because the level 1 Necro book went from 10 strength to 6 strength, so it lost a shitload of its value at level 1, which is like the whole item that these guys were buying, right?
I see how it scales. Okay, so it took a -4 nerf at level 1, -3 nerf at level 2, then -2 nerf at level 3. So Necronomicon level 3 is about the same, but you're right. Level 1 now, that does hurt. 4 strength actually kind of matters.
And as Apollo's saying in chat, it's all about that Spectre, buying it early.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of a, Spectre with Necro, probably a pretty good item if Spectre's able to pick it up first. And then Lycan is still a big problem. So Lycan needs a lot of tweaks. So Lycan got a Vlad's nerf, a Necro nerf,
and Helm of the
Helm
Dominator nerf.
Yeah.
Sorry, Lycan.
Yeah, he needed it though. I mean, you've been carried by Lycan a few too many times from what I can see on the old Dota buff.
Well, Pop-Tart's been busy observing ESL, so I haven't been getting carried in the last week or so. But I actually haven't seen any Lycan in my pub games. I think people have not realized how completely busted he is on the 3, at least in my bracket. But hey, what are you going to do?
I mean, he must still be the highest win rate, I'm sure. Let's see.
He's so annoying to play against. I kind of agree with you, Apollo. Fuck Lycan. When he gets fed and you have that 15-minute high ground push and you're like, what do I do against this guy? He's just super fast. He hits super hard. He's destroying my structures.
Oh, jeez. He plummeted last night. Dropped 3%.
Jeez.
My God. He went from almost 54% down to 50.74.
Okay. All right.
Jeez.
So Lycan's back to normal now. I mean, 50% is where you want to shoot for, right? That's nice middle of the pack. Fat bell curve.
I see Meepo also lost 4.23%. Ouch.
He was actually changed, though. So we're going to move into hero changes pretty soon. We'll talk about Meepo.
Well, so was Lycan. Lycan got a change as well.
Yeah, you're right. Well, I guess Lycan, it's a lot of these little changes, but they really do add up. It's like all of his favorite items got nerfed, and they nerfed his ultimate. Individually, none of them feel that bad, but you put them all together, and it's like, damn, my item timings don't feel nearly as good now. I did really like the Dust of Appearance change, though. 90 gold down to 80, little buff there, so you can buy Dust a little more regularly. This is a feel-good for those position 4s, position 5s out there. Riki is still a menace in my pub games. I don't know what his win rate looks like at the higher brackets, but that fucking hero, dude, he is still so slippery, and his damage output is nuts. I hate not being able to afford detection, just getting crippled. I also, Trent, I have a big beef. I can't see the fucking smoke cloud. It's something about the colors. I think it's partially a color blindness thing. I think it's partially because I'm bad, but I have been struggling to see that fucking smoke cloud. Like the amount of games where a Riki pops up and I'm trying to use my shit, I'm like, what's silencing me? And then I go, oh, there it is. I see it now. I can't even see where the edge of the smoke cloud is. Is that just me, or is that shit actually graphically fucking obnoxious?
I think there's some sets or cosmetics that make it different, right?
Yes, and I think a lot of them are pay to lose because they put the face in it. I can see the face one. I'm talking about just the default, regular, normie Riki smoke.
I think it takes a second to materialize, doesn't it? That might be partially what's kind of annoying.
It might. I'd have to look. I don't really play Riki, so I guess I don't know. I think it does kind of form out, but I really have trouble finding the edge. Like one of the things I love about like Mars and Disruptor, like you can see exactly where the edge is. You know, you have this.
Well, Disruptors, you didn't used to be able to see it very well. Now it's better than it used to be.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, it is true.
Fix Riki. It drives me crazy. Someone saying use colorblind mode. You know, I would, but it actually fucks me up even more because the colors are so extremely different. And it gets very tiresome reading every other Twitch chat message. How come your colors aren't the normal colors? And then you have to read through all the statistics of, well, only 8% of the population are colorblind, so really you're being selfish by choosing to use colorblind mode and ruining the experience for the rest of us. I gave up on that shit a long time ago. I just suffer through because I can only have that conversation so many times before I just can't. But yeah, I'm mad about Riki, man.
I'm actually checking the immortal trends and the divine ones, and Lycan's actually 61% as of last week there. We'll see how that changes, or at least over the past month. So that's going to start dropping down, but damn, him and Meepo were destroying pubs.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
So as sort of a side conversation here, we're going to talk about Meepo, but I think 2 podcasts ago when they changed, or maybe 3 podcasts ago, when they changed the picking for all picks. So now it's the blind thing.
Yeah.
We were touting that as a good change, one that now makes it harder for that 10th pick kind of coup de grace to just ruin the game, because one team would always have that final choice, and that's pretty fucking broken in pubs. So now, at best, those last picks are just a coin flip where you're both trying to guess what the other one might pick in terms of counters and shit. I don't know how much better this is. After playing it for a while, it kind of feels like a side grade. And I think Blitz summed it up really well in one of the ESL broadcasts of, Meepo gets shit on by some heroes, but shits on other heroes. And now you can just pick Meepo every game blind, and the expected value is in favor of Meepo. He wins more matchups than he loses. And even if it's just 60-40, you're grinding 100 pubs, you're going to go up in MMR. And now you kind of feel like, oh, great, another Meepo. And we didn't know it was coming, and we didn't pick anything. And before you needed that dice roll of your team getting 10th pick to be able to do that. Now you can just do it every fucking game because it's guaranteed blind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, 100%. I think we kind of came to that conclusion at the end of our discussion because we were talking about, like, well, what happens if you just, 10th pick Brood every game? That's what we got into.
Yeah.
But then we decided that, well, at least both teams have the option to do it. But yeah, it's kind of better for these spammers, for sure. Because Meepo, as you said, it's just straight up better. Before you had 50% of your games, theoretically, were going to be last pick. But now 100% of your games, you have a pretty good chance of it being a good Meepo game.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was position 5 right now and I was playing in the high tier bracket, I think I'd just play Wyvern every game.
I mean, that's probably a safe play, honestly.
Although a lot of Meepo players say that she's not even a counter if you can micro and you're not an idiot. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, still think Wyvern's just good. Right? It's a really safe support that's like, is there ever a game where Wyvern just feels objectively bad? I would say no, not really.
No, you got good tools. It's always nice to have a potential game-winning team fight in your position 5.
Yes, I wholeheartedly agree. I wish I was better at playing Wyvern. I don't really enjoy playing her that much, but every so often you get into one of those
Wyvern.
games where
She's
you're
fun.
like, God damn, this hero's good. Kind of like
she
Oracle.
buys all your items. She buys Glimmer, buy Blink Dagger, and it's good.
I don't know. It's just the play style. I feel like I'm just an ultimate. I know her other spells do shit, but I'm always just looking for that big game-changing ultimate, and it drives me a little crazy. I have trouble being patient. It's sort of playing against a good Wyvern reminds me of playing against a good Oracle. A nice slippery Oracle that's way in the back line, just saving people, and you feel like you can't latch onto him and you can't kill anybody. Oh, it's so frustrating.
You are not a backline player.
No.
Which, hilariously, somehow you actually only won that. I mean, I know the silencer DC'd, but you were winning that game anyway. And the only reason you were winning that game when you were playing Lich, you had a tricore of Enigma, Anti-Mage, and Sniper, and then you had an Earthshaker that was trying to hide off to the side.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason you won that game is because you just walked in as Lich and they kept jumping you.
Dude, it
was like the stupidest game I've ever seen in my life. If they just ignored you, they would just win that game.
Dude, you're completely right. It's probably a like hashtag 3K bracket life sort of thing, but I feel like that was the secret to Slack's grinding at least 1,000 MMR.
That's what I was going to say last night in your chat, but I was too lazy to type it all out. You were literally Slacksing your way. In fact, I was going to say that you could honestly just pick like heroes like this, like Omni Knight and this kind of bullshit, or Oracle, and I bet you will go up like 5 to 1,000 MMR.
Yeah, it is really. I mean, you have to rely on your teammates a little bit, but sometimes they have that like, "Wow, we're shitting all over the lich." It's like, yeah, I'm 0-10. My sniper's 10-1, dude. I'll take that trade all day. Somebody's got to do it. Sometimes you see those drafts like in that really long 75-minute Kunkka game. That's actually what our Jug was saying about our position 5 Lena. He was like, honestly, guys, I hate to say this. I think he said it at 60 minutes. I think the next fight we just need to bait with Lena. She just needs to suicide so that they waste some ultimates on her because she's fucking useless anyway, and then we can clean up. And yeah, if you don't have a good frontliner that can start fights, sometimes you kind of need the sacrificial lamb. And I'll tell you, Trent, I'm happy to play that role. I'm proud.
I was impressed. I'll give you that. All right.
So
where were we?
Back to Meepo, though. That was sort of where this whole conversation segued. Big changes to him. So his base agility was reduced from 24 to 17.
Mm-hmm.
Base damage and armor remain unchanged. So it's a weird change to digest. So the agility number is lower, which hurts all the other Meepos, but they added base damage and armor to compensate for the lack of agility.
Oh yeah, that's pretty harsh nerf though.
Yes. So and the way Meepo works with sharing stats with all the Meepos, yeah. I think that actually slows him down a lot, especially early on. To me, that's like an early Meepo nerf.
Well, they also pushed the second Meepo to level 4, which probably hurts some of those mid lane matchups pretty bad.
Yeah, so Divided We Stand, level requirement, it used to be level 3, level 10, level 18. Now it's level 4, level 11, and then level 18. So,
with it being level 4, that means if you were versus an Ember mid, they could have, like, let's say they got level 4 before you did. They would now have level 2 Flame Guard. They could have Slight and Bull if they wanted for the kill, or they could just have 2 levels in Slight and 2 levels in Flame Guard while going for kills. Like, think about how much easier it would have been to kill an Ember at level 3 than an Ember at level 4.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting.
This should really hurt Meepo. What was his? Did he have a pretty good win rate in pubs?
Yes.
Higher level.
He was
pubs?
the highest after Lycan. He was 58%.
This might level him out. This feels pretty solid to me. If anything, this might even be an over nerf.
He's already lost 4% as of last night.
Okay.
So we'll see.
And this patch has only been out for I think like 12 hours, something like that. So
yeah, keep in mind though that the good Meepo players will now be the only Meepo players playing once the fad Meepo players are going to start to drop off. So that's going to climb back up. That'll probably climb back up to like 55%, I would guess.
Yeah. Fad Meepo players. I like the way you frame that because when you think of Meepo, what is your sort of like cookie cutter go-to? This is your item build. Obviously, it varies game to game a little bit, but what are you generally looking for in a solid Meepo build?
Just a bunch of Agi and then E-Blade.
So, like, what about Blink and Hex? How do those items fit into your build?
They come along with it. Like, sometimes you need the Scythe, and sometimes you need the Blink, and whatever. I mean, I'm not a great Meepo player, but that's just what I see when I watch Meepos.
Have you ever seen this build where you just amass E-Blades? You say,
yes.
fuck Blink, fuck Catch, I'm just going Wraith Bands, then E-Blades.
Yeah, I don't think it's as popular as it used to be, though.
No, but I think that was a testament to the fad Meepo player where it makes him a little easier to play. You don't have to fuck around with Blink shift queuing. You don't have to fuck around with... You just have all these items that make your Meepos hit hard. I was in a game with a Meepo. He had 3 E-Blades. And I was just like, homie, I don't know if this is the build. I think Hex is really good. And then we won a team fight and went high ground, and he killed Barracks faster than I've ever seen Barracks die. It was disgusting how much damage he did. He had 0 utility relative to what he could have had with all that gold. But we literally won the game off one team fight. It was... the true death march up to their base with all the little agied out Meepos.
It's just a spreadsheet build. If you just made a spreadsheet of all the items and the cost per gold per item slot of agility, that E-Blade just wins out as being the most effective item.
For sure. Yeah, it's gives you more agi than any other item. It's just I don't like when that is the build. Like that's like the noob cannon, like, okay, I'm just gonna buy 5 Eagle songs, then we're gonna go high ground.
I think Meepo's fine for like that because it's like such a gimmick and like it's all based on the stats that it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I see what you're getting at. I don't know. spice it up a little bit. Is that really where we want the game to be? I bought 3 E-blades, the actives, whatever. I just want the stats. Like, it's just pretty cheese dick. Call me a purist.
Ah, well, I know that's how you are. All right, the rest of this patch. So let's go back to the beginning here. Beastmaster, what the hell? Wild Hawk no longer blocking neutral camps? What's up with that? That's a pretty big nerf. That's a huge nerf.
Yeah.
That was like what let you dominate the offlane, because the support would never have a camp to pull.
I mean, maybe
That's
it
a
was just
huge
too
nerf.
good because he can keep spamming Hawk. Like, you can't really effectively counter it. Didn't that kind of feel like a mechanic that was not easily counterable if you're just always running in there trying to kill Hawks? Can't you put him in sort of sneaky spots where they're not necessarily easy to find but still blocks the camp?
Yeah, it was completely broken.
Well, so how do you fix that without... It's sort of a binary thing. The bird either blocks shit or it doesn't.
Oh, it's fine. I mean, I'm just saying it's a huge nerf. That's what it is.
Oh, I see. So is this the end of Beastmaster? His rise was so short.
I think with the Necro books, it's going to be tough. It's a pretty huge nerf.
He's all in on wild
axes. If you can't
axes
control
now.
the wave, like, you don't have really great tools for controlling the wave. It just means that his matchup spread has shrunk, basically. Like, he won't be as good versus a lot of heroes now. Like, he needs a matchup that he can win or a good laning partner, whereas before, you actually created space for your position 4 because they could never pull the lane, so eventually it got forced under your tower, and you're going to get a bunch of gold and XP that way.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. It changes the whole snowball mechanic of how he controls the lane. Yeah, this one hurts. I'm with you there.
And, yeah, the other hero I saw you talking about last night, the Centaur Warrunner. Fun hero. Just a little nerf. Yeah.
They tweaked the retaliate, little bit less damage per charge, 2% at all levels. Centaur was hitting hard. I still think he's a bit of a sleeper hero. Strikingly good laner, very easy to last hit and control the lane with. Retaliate actually fucks up a lot of supports. Like, you're lane against a disruptor, he basically can't harass you. I mean, he can, but it doesn't end well for the poor disruptor. Minor tweak to clockwork, strength gain reduced 3.7 to 3.5. Bigger
Clock
changes.
was winning a lot of games.
The Death Prophet. I want to talk some Death Prophet. Now, break down this support Death Prophet nonsense for me, because that's been the big change for her. She's like a viable 4 now, correct?
Or 5, even. I saw her being played as in a couple games. I mean, to be fair, a lot of that viability just comes from drafting, right? In the pro scene, it's this whole idea of you pick the DP early, and then depending on the later matchup, you just change your positioning. The games that I saw, and logically, most of the value just comes off of her silence. But if you think about it, there's not a lot of heroes that offer a way to push towers out of the support role. It's pretty much just Shadow Shaman and Jakiro. So
yeah.
You had this new, like, oh, hey, we have like a little element of push out of support. That's kind of cool. But now they're just going to start slowly nerfing her skills, probably. Like Spirit Siphon, the mana cost increased from 70 to 80. That's a direct support player nerf. Because if you're a core, you're going to have items that doesn't matter. But as a support, like, that mana kind of hurts.
So base damage also reduced by 2. That's just a nerf across the board. But for support, your trading is just a little bit less efficient. And now the Exorcism Scepter damage multiplier has been reduced from 1.75 to 1.5. So this is only once you have the Aghanim's, and I think that's got to be a nerf just to core Death Prophet. I don't think support DPs are really reliably getting scepters. So how big does this hurt, though? Is this like change her viability as a support, or are these just little tweaks to make her not busted in those specific matchups?
You read the spelling for exorcism? Exorcism.
There's a typo on the patch notes.
I feel like they do it on purpose. There's always at least one. I think she was just like a little bit too popular, right? So it's a little nerf. It's fine. No biggie.
Huskard,
more of a much like the Centaur, I would say it's more of a pro scene nerf, but she was doing well in pub. She had actually almost a 54% win rate in pub. So actually, never mind. This is definitely a pub nerf too.
Okay.
But like Centaur was like 50%. So he just needed one because the pro players are really good with Centaur.
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't realize she was popping off so hard in pubs.
Me neither. It's definitely been a higher pub level type thing. I haven't seen it in any of the 3K games.
Oh
at
yeah,
all.
yeah. No, she's sub 50%. Below Legend, and then even at Legend, she's only 51%.
Yeah.
So.
Dude, Dota's in a weird place in terms of supports. That Bait versus OG series, the support Weaver. I mean, that's not totally new, and because of his agonyms, it allows him to do shit that no other support can do in terms of just you're good. But I can't help but feel like he just doesn't do that much until he gets the agonyms. I'm still having trouble wrapping my brain around support Weaver just overall. You know, it's a big ask to be like, all right, well, once you get agonyms, you're really going to be online. Like, you could lose the fucking game before that happens. And he doesn't really offer anything else but damage and annoyingness.
If we go to his change logs, let's see. He lost movement speed. But before that, he got increased base intelligence, increased int gain, increased base mana regen. So basically, he got a bunch, and the swarm got buffed. He got plus agi talent once he lost the XP thing. So over time, a lot of his skills have been buffed. So not really like his attack damage and stuff like that. Like his agi gain getting nerfed, for example. Like any of his core traits mostly got nerfed, whereas they buffed a lot of his like just spells. So it kind of makes sense that he slipped towards the support. But if you already have lockdown on your core heroes, like he's a really annoying support to have. Constant lane harass. You can't really do anything about him.
Trade really the nature of Geminate attack and Shikuchi compared to any other 4 or 5 you're going blow for blow with. I guess that's true. You're pretty fucking annoying. It reminds me of like when Puck was popping off as a support. You just hit so hard.
Or Ursa.
You just can't trade with him as a conventional support.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, how come support Ursa didn't come back? Is he like did he get nerfed way too hard after he was too good? Probably.
I guess.
But man, like remember support Ursa? That was a hype patch, dude. That made me want to play Ursa. Oh my god! But like ever since he got the leap, I thought maybe he'd make a return.
Yeah.
But like you can't trade with support Ursa.
That's
Is
true.
he really Roche too?
I mean, now that he has that little gap closer, that was such a big change to Ursa to make him not just a little paperweight. You know, that he can at least have some little gap closer mobility now with his little roll or whatever it is.
For some reason, he was more broken with Basher back then, too, but I don't remember what it was. But I remember all these support Ursas would literally just get Basher, and the game was over. Then people just started doing it on Monkey King, and they're like, okay, now the game's really over, and then they changed his ulti so the Basher didn't work. Good ones. Good times.
So, couple heroes left. Coddle got a little buff to the Chakra Magic. Cooldown improved 1 second across the board.
That's a nerf? That's the cooldown reduction.
Oh.
4, 5, 6, 7 to 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, so that's a nerf.
That's a nerf.
So that's not the reduction to the spell. That's
I don't
how
think
much
anyone got a buff this patch.
it reduces. Okay, I see. That one is not worded very well, but I understand what they're going with. Okay. So Chakra Magic is just slightly less effective now in cooling down spells faster, and that level 20 talent, the Will-O-Wisp AoE, has been knocked down 250 to 200. Cool. We kind of mentioned
was pretty huge.
Mentioned the Lycan change, Shapeshift, just longer cooldown now across the board. I think this one's totally fair.
Reminds me of the way they've nerfed Batrider over time, just constantly attacking the ultimate because you know that's how what he wants to play around. But it still means that like his farm patterns and stuff should be okay. Same thing as Batrider, where you can still they haven't impacted the Firefly and everything that much, but it was always lasso constantly.
Right. I mean, I think all these hits to Lycan in this patch are to prevent his snowball from happening too quickly. And this is just one more piece of that. You know, it's a longer duration before you can fight in between ultimates. Now his items come out a little more slowly, whether it's the Vlads or you get that Necro book and it's less of a jump when you get Necro level 1. All these things just prevent him from taking over, starting that snowball at 15 minutes instead of 12 minutes is a big deal. That 3-minute window allows enemy heroes to do a lot more.
I love Dota. It means like there's more neutral items. People are tankier. It's such the first 15 minutes are just like a crazy time that all of these 15-second things really do add up.
Yeah. Especially in the case of Lycan, it's like 4 different things that have all compounded now to really make this hurt. PL lost a little base agi.
Yeah, it says base agi reduced by 3. And it doesn't say that he kept his damage. So I assume that means he also lost like the 3 damage. He lost an armor That's a pretty sizable nerf,
Yeah. Yeah.
if that's indeed what it is.
PL does have crazy agi gain, so very much like early PL kind of nerf here. Once you probably hit level 6 or so, you're probably not feeling it so much. But
I mean, he was in almost 17% of Divine games,
Ooh.
along with Slark, just like constantly, all the time. The two most popular position ones.
Yeah. PL's obnoxious, dude. That hero still feels very strong. The only time I beat him in pubs is when I feel like my whole team is on the same page of, we need to cripple this guy. Tilt the PL. You know, we're just going all in on killing this guy so he doesn't have a game and hoping that will demoralize his team because they'll start flaming their position 1 for being a feeder. That is my only winning strat against PL.
Yeah, as of these 12 hours across all brackets, he lost an average of about 3%.
Okay,
So,
wow. It's insane how 3 agility can have that big of an effect.
yeah, it's pretty crazy.
That's actually insane.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if that continues that way.
Phoenix got a nerf. Fire spirits, reduction in damage across the board, and also the level 15 talent for fire spirits, plus 40 DPS down to 35 DPS. Did feel like fire spirits were doing a lot of damage. We saw that in one of the ESL games yesterday. I remember the casters like, oh, is he going to live? Is he going to live? Oh, nope. Okay, he burned to death. Oof.
Now he'll live.
Yeah. Just slightly overtuned. How are you feeling about Snapfire these days, Trent? The cookie damage got nerfed a little bit. I still can't believe how good that ultimate is. This hero
I was going to say the exact same thing.
still feels overtuned to me. Like, not busted broken, but very, very good.
It feels like they want that to be her best ability because it's the thing that's like Morton. It's cute. It's adorable. Yeah, Mortimer. Sorry, not Morton. Thinking of
Assault.
Mario. But yeah, I love that ultimate, dude. It's so good. Yeah, she's still by far and away the most pick support. Like, I don't even think it's close when you go to the current meta in top tier pub. She has like a 30% pick rate or something.
I mean, she's just so well rounded. The cookie.
Yeah, she is 29.58. The next closest is actually Rubik at 28, but Rubik's always been pretty high because of that.
Yeah.
But like 30% of games, that is old Pudge levels of pick.
I mean, she just feels like the whole package to me. She trades well against other supports. She's got crazy good burst damage with that blast thing that she does. She can snipe range creeps if needed. The cookie's great for initiating. The cookie's great for saving people. And the ultimate synergizes with basically any setup. Pick up a Mars, pick up a Void. Anybody who can lock in. Even just fucking Shackle Shot is enough to combo for kills. Like, it's... I don't know. I don't know what you do with this hero to make her not busted.
Nothing summarizes Dota. Oh, first off, she also only has a 50% win rate, despite being picked on 30% of games.
Huh.
So,
I guess she's not as busted as I do feel like she has a really high skill cap. Like, she's not broken in the you just pick her and win. You need to know what the fuck's going on. Cookie is, you got to be careful when you're feeding cookies to people. It can go wrong.
Yeah, it's also about teamwork, right? Like, with good synergy, she's completely busted. Like, with the right hero and just some slight coordination. To me... The hero that just like the difference in brackets, dude. Like, I love this tool on Dota. If you guys never use it, it's called the Heroes Meta. You can find it. I don't think you need Pro to look at it. You can just see across the brackets. They group Herald, Crusader, and Guardian together. Oh no, yeah, Guardian together. And then you have the Archon bracket, the Legend bracket, the Ancient bracket, and then you have Divine and Immortal lumped together as well. And you can look at all the different pick rates of heroes and the win rates. I'll link it in chat if you guys haven't looked at it before. But one of my favorite things, to absolutely no one's surprise, if you want to know what the most picked hero is in the like the highest pick percent in a bracket plus hero combo, in the Herald, Guardian, and Crusader bracket, Pudge is picked in 31.46% of games. And then the next highest across all brackets is also Pudge in the Archon bracket, where he's picked in 31% of games. Like, I love how there's that element of Dota where people just fucking love this hero. They don't give a shit about their MMR. Yep. Maybe they do, but I don't think they really do. Not enough to like pick broken heroes. Yeah. They're just playing some fucking Dota. And that's where you see these heroes like like Pudge and Lion and Ogre are just picked, and Juggernaut is still picked a ton in these brackets.
Is Drow still up there in the lower brackets?
Who?
Drow Ranger?
Oh, that's a great question. She actually is very high. She's 12% there compared to her 3% in the highest tier.
I know she's always been weirdly popular at the lower brackets. I don't know if it's like a cosmetics thing, if it's because
It's a Dota
she's
1 thing, I think, isn't it? It's
yeah, like she's a really old school hero. I mean, even like you think of the art for Dota and you sort of picture Drow Ranger and Morphling and Bloodseeker. They're like the iconic trio of Dota heroes that were on all that original marketing.
Yeah.
And I think that has a psychological effect. Morphling's too fucking hard to play, so forget about it. But
I wonder who the biggest gap, because Pudge isn't even the biggest gap. There's about a 23% gap between Immortal and, actually, maybe he is going to be the biggest because he's just so huge. Like, he still has an 8% pick rate in Divine and Immortal on Pudge. It's not even that bad.
yeah,
But you have
compared to
someone
35, I mean,
Okay, well, all right, here we go. Sniper has a 22% gap. He's picked in a quarter of all games in the lowest brackets, and he's picked at 3% of the games in Divine and Immortal.
that sounds about right.
Yeah, I think PA is similar. She's 25%. She's still picked in 6% of games at Divine.
I wonder how much of that Sniper thing is also dated. You know, from back in the day, Sniper was a pretty busted support in Dota 1.
No, that's just from this month.
Oh no, I just mean like in general. Like why do low tier players like playing Sniper so much? That idea.
He's like this recommended hero that everyone says. Like, oh, I don't know how to play. Oh, just pick Sniper.
I guess he's easy to last hit with. He's got an ultimate where you can kill people from safety. God, I just remember the day when fucking headshot, mini stun, and it worked with Manta. Remember how fucking dumb that was? You got 3 snipers just mini stunning all over the place. Oh,
Pew pew.
pew pew pew.
Never forget that patch.
Yeah, good stuff there. Man, that is one thing you have to keep in mind when we read these patch notes. I feel like we always look at it through the lens of how does this affect pro play, but
yeah.
You look at that bell curve of Dota players, and some of these changes are for that, 2 or 3 standard deviations to the left of like, okay, what's really busted in the 1.5K bracket where people don't understand what the counters are. And it's easy to pass that off as like, who gives a shit? Those people don't matter, but that's like the bread and butter of the community, man. Dota's a fucking hard game. A lot of people don't have the time like we do to spend 40 hours a week staring at patch notes and matches and taking notes and digesting the meta. They're playing a couple hours a week just having fun, and you still want the game to be accessible for them,
I love those people because they make Dota what it is.
Hell yeah.
I wonder what percentage of the player base those people are. Like like those 3 lowest tiers are just some gargantuan percentage of Dota.
Yeah. Yeah,
I know there's a way to actually see that too. I'll have to look it up for next week.
I'm picturing a bell curve where Legend is like 50 percentile, but I'm pretty sure that's not true. I think it's way skewed to the left where we have...
I'm pretty sure average is like 2K or less.
Something like that. So there's a staggering amount of Dota accounts that are sub 2K MMR. Yeah, that's an interesting perspective piece.
I love all of you people down there. We need you.
Yeah, for real. So one last hero we didn't mention, Wraith King. He actually took a decent hit as well. Base damage reduced by 2. Not strength, just base damage. And Mortal Strike. The skeletons got a pretty big hit in terms of duration. They now only last for 60 seconds instead of 90 seconds.
Yeah,
so,
that is a gargantuan nerf. I was really surprised to see that.
I wasn't thinking of Wraith King as this particularly busted hero, but I guess the ability to push was a little too strong. I did have a game the other day where we had a DK and a Wraith King on the same team. We weren't really winning the game, but we won one fight and just crippled a lane of barracks. It almost felt stupid how fast we could push.
Well, I was kind of ready to write off what you were saying about the nerfs and there's not a lot of patch changes to the lowest tier. I would say almost 0. But frankly, this one might be because Wraith King has not been killing it in the top tiers, but he's the 3rd highest win rate at the lowest tier of Dota. And he's picked in almost 20% of games. In terms of pick to win rate ratio, he's probably the biggest threat at low tier right now.
And I also
there you go.
I like that nerf too because it's like one of the easiest aspects of the hero that's getting nerfed. You summon the skeletons, you don't control them, they just run around, do their own thing. And
that's why it's such a big nerf, though, because it's like passive gold.
Yeah.
It's a huge nerf.
That
Who do you think had the biggest nerf? I wonder if it's Wraith.
I think Meepo.
Oh yeah, right. I forgot about the meepo. Yeah,
Meepo
definitely
for
meepo.
sure. And Lycan by proxy, I think, is number 2, but the Wraith King one's up there.
Yeah, with all the items. Yeah. So there was one thing we skipped over at the very beginning. The wards, kind of interesting, can now always be attacked by the owning player. Now, I actually have to update my client to confirm this, but I assume that means the owning player, as in the person who placed it,
Right. So I
not
think
just a teammate.
so. This means now you can deny wards when they're at full HP if you planted them, is what I think this means, right?
Yes.
Because before you could deny wards, but you had to wait for them to hit it once, and then you could try to get in your little auto attack to deny the ward. And denying wards is huge because if you know for whatever reason they've got a sentry down, you don't have a sentry to get rid of it, you're about to feed away 3 figures of gold and a lot of experience to a support that desperately needs it. So
Yes.
this is kind of a nice quality of life change, I would say.
It is a yeah, it's like a buff to good support players, I guess.
It
People
does
who are
seem
paying
a little
attention to the minimap and
a
everything.
little weird of like, hey, I planted a ward. Now I'm killing my own ward. But I can definitely see a few scenarios where I've definitely put a ward on the high ground because I think we're going to fight, and then my team doesn't go, and you're like, I just wasted that ward, and now you can delete it instead of just feeding it away. You know what
Imagine if you could pick them back up.
I mean?
A 5-second channel to pick up a ward. That would be hilarious.
That would be interesting.
It keeps the same duration. Oh god, getting complicated.
So yeah, I like that. I would definitely call that a buff for the position 5s out there. You have a little bit less time now to select an AP. We didn't mention that either, from 25 seconds to 20 seconds. But the one that we talked about this in our little pre-show before the podcast started, now when 2 players pick the exact same hero in a round during all pick, that hero is banned and the round restarts. So, as an example, if Trent and I are on opposite teams, we're both picking second. We're like, man, this is a great CM game. And we both try to pick CM in that round. CM gets banned, and we get a chance to re-pick again. A weird change. So I guess the idea here is that it's protection against meta heroes. If there's a particularly meta hero that gets brought in that's good for both teams that didn't get banned,
Yeah.
now nobody gets it, because it used to be whoever picked it first within that round would just get the hero, right? Was that how it worked?
I'm not sure.
It's like round 2 starts. We're on opposite teams. We both want CM. If I click CM first, in the past, I would just get CM and you're fucked.
Yes,
You're like,
and the other guy wouldn't be able to choose it. That's what would happen.
yeah. So now it's protection against that. How often do you think this is going to happen? Like, how often do you think people were really vying for the
I
same
think
hero?
Snapfire's gonna get nerfed or banned like constantly now.
Yeah.
Like it's mostly gonna impact support heroes because they get blindly picked first, and there's only like 4 of them that people pick. It's like Snapfire, Lich, Rubik, and like I guess Bane is like kind of good right now.
Okay.
So not many people pick them. So it's mostly like Snapfire, Rubik, Lich, and the next highest support is Disruptor.
Yeah. And of course, we were looking at that clip where there was some collusion to keep banning the heroes to see what would happen. I guess in a pub game, like the chances of you running out of heroes to pick is so astronomically low because there's so many choices that it'll basically never happen unless there's foul play. But it does make you wonder what happens if somehow all the heroes are gone. Does the game just end? Is this some sort of like, is this abusable is what I'm getting at. Is there a way that you have some douchebag on your team and then you
You'd
do
have
this
to convince someone on the enemy team to do it.
force abandons? I mean, you can all chat, though, during the drafting phase. You could collude. It only takes one person on the other team to collude with you.
Yeah, that's true. But they can also just make it so that you both get a random hero.
A random hero from that. I like that, dude. I like that.
Like
I'm
the
just
whole pool.
more pointing out wasting time for people in pub games. If there's 2 trolls, one on each team, and they just want to collude and be dicks.
Yes, that can definitely be done.
But I guess then somebody on your team could just say, okay, fine, I'm just going to pick this round. It's not like it's locked in for those 2 people picking. You could just grab
Well, they
your
could do it at the
mid laner.
very end.
Oh, yeah, you're right. They could just stall it to the very end. Fuck. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. How many pubs will be ruined by this new mechanic? Probably not many, but I'm sure we'll get a post on the subreddit. Interesting. Maybe this will help with those meepo blind picks at the end. Maybe that's what this is for.
I mean, kind of, but only if both teams have a meepo player.
Yeah.
I don't think that'll happen too much.
I don't know.
Outside of Dota, though, from the patch, like the big news today is I believe it's Valorant Day, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, is it? What is this?
Yes.
What is it? Open beta day or closed beta day? Or
I believe it's the closed beta day. So, if you guys haven't noticed, the numbers are insanely inflated. And I came across this last week, and I was like, why the fuck does Summit have 187,000 viewers, which he does right now, streaming Valorant? Go ahead and open up any of those chats right now. And open up the player list. And how do I do that again? Let's see.
It's at the top right, I think, the dots.
Ah, yes. The users in chat. When you open up the users in chat, it's literally just Valorant 11111, Valorant Abuse 111211. It's so many bots. You actually can't believe it.
Huh. So, what is the conspiracy here that someone, aka Riot, is paying for all of these view bots to artificially?
No, they're not paying for bots. You get free codes. They have enabled drops in the streams of people streaming Valorant, and you get into the closed beta if you get one of these lucky drops. So they've incentivized, much like Blizzard did with their drops for Overwatch League, they've incentivized other people to bot for them and inflate numbers.
Holy shit, dude. This is what GameStop did. It was genius. That, hey, we didn't tell you had to come in. We left it up to the managers, and we just left a little financial incentive on the table to keep stores open. It's like, no, we didn't tell you to view bot. We just created a system that greatly incentivizes those that do create botnets, and that's on you if you choose to do that. It's unethical, but hey, we just created the incentive. We didn't tell you to do it.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Jesus Christ, dude.
It's pretty genius. Not gonna lie.
Geniusly awful. What has the world come to?
But like 187,000 viewers. Think about how much money he must be getting from Twitch today, dude.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, what happens if he
I mean, even if it's 50% bots, which is probably extreme, that's still a shitload of viewers.
What? It's definitely at least 50% bots. I would guess it's more than 50%.
Wow.
Because like he not only does he have 187,000 viewers, if you go down the list, dude, it's like everyone streaming this fucking game is 100K. Like Tim the Tatman, 116K.
Wow.
XQC has 77,000. I saw Seagull was on too. What's he at?
And it makes sense too because the keys are worth money, right? I see someone in chat saying that you could sell a key for $500.
Yeah, easily.
So these botnets are probably just making bank, dude. They're just selling that shit on eBay. I mean, I just dated myself there. I don't think people are buying game codes on eBay anymore, but same general concept. What were your thoughts about Valorant overall, though? Are you going to play it when it's accessible, or do you think it looks fun? Are you cautiously optimistic?
I actually haven't watched it.
I mean, the thing that I've heard consistently is that the engine and gameplay is insanely smooth. Like, if you have a high-end rig, like a broadcasting rig, you should easily be holding, like, 200 FPS, no problem. Like, some people were reporting...
That's kind of the whole point, right? Is that it's not pretty.
Right, but...
Which was Overwatch's huge problem, first off.
Yes, but I think the actual smoothness of the gameplay has been pretty widely renowned. And to me, that's like, all right, know your market. That's what the market wants. You know, I
mean, I look at it and it kind of makes me want to play CS. If anything, it looks like it would be a good way for me to jump into CS. I'd have like the training wheels of a bunch of skills and abilities, and then I might just be like, okay, now I just feel like clicking heads.
So is this like the perfect hybrid between Overwatch and Counter-Strike, where Counter-Strike's a little more like just guns and Overwatch is a little too much just ultimates, and this is Counter-Strike with abilities, as Saber's pointing out?
That's kind of what it looks like. I mean, to me, it's going to destroy Overwatch. I think Overwatch is just dead. I think there's going to be like a lot of people that like playing Overwatch because they like the idea. I was actually reading a couple threads on it today that were interesting where all these Overwatch players were like, all right, listen here, guys. Overwatch is going to be fun because Valorant, it's all just shooting heads, all right? Like, I like swinging my hammer. I like blowing snow with May. I like shooting an arrow. Like, I have all these different things that are different in Overwatch that I don't get in another shooter. And I agree that there are those people that are still going to play the game because of that. However, there's also the DPS players that are going to be like, well, I just want to click heads. And why would I click heads in this boring-ass game when I can go click heads in the game where, you're just clicking heads on like 20 different characters instead of 4?
Where I get rewarded more for clicking heads. Yeah, exactly. I I don't know, man. The stuff that I've been reading about Overwatch, the saving grace, right? This is how bad the state of Overwatch is. The saving grace that they're toting are the amazing viewership numbers coming out of the Chinese broadcasts.
No,
5
not the Chinese
million
broadcast.
concurrents for
the
OWL
YouTube
on
VODs,
Billy.
I believe, is the other one that they've been touting.
Get the fuck out of here. Meanwhile, YouTube's got, what, 30K, 40K concurrents, maybe peaking up at 50. Half of what they had on average when they were still on Twitch for the earlier seasons. Like, it's just been a steady bleed. And I just, I've always said I don't want Overwatch to fail, but I don't know how you can objectively look at the state of affairs and go, we're in good shape. I'm not worried at all. Overwatch is the future. Like, if you're saying that, you're just not looking around at what's happening in the rest of the esports ecosystem.
I mean, it just made no sense from the very beginning. There's a reason everyone's been saying this from the start. It's like you tried to force an esport out of a game that just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It's not watchable. It's kind of fun to play, but you can't watch it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't hate playing it, but it just felt pointless after a while when all my friends stopped playing it and we weren't ever going to cast it or do anything. It's like, well, why don't I just play a game that's relevant to anything else?
Yeah, I don't know. So I already saw that. I guess some of the Overwatch players are retiring and looking to get into Valorant. They're trying to bail. So we'll see if that continues.
Speaking of other dead games, what's been going on with Fortnite? I feel like I haven't heard a press release about Fortnite in a good 6 months. Basically, since that kid won their giant championship thing, I haven't heard jack shit about Fortnite. Is that still...
I haven't heard anything since the Star Wars thing. That was the last big time I saw.
Yes, that's a good
Fortnite
point.
Popping
actually.
up everywhere.
But is that fad over? Did the kiddies still playing it, or are they all looking forward to these Riot games now? Like, what's...
I would guess COD probably hit them a little hard because there's probably like a lot of kids that want to play Call of Duty now, so they're probably spreading the player base a little.
Dude, Warzone was crazy popular. Activision did a really good job with their latest Call of Duty release. I haven't played it. I've watched some of it. It looks good. The feedback has been good. And just the amount of hype around Call of Duty still impresses me. It's really that it's interesting how I guess Activision Blizzard must still be, even though they're a joint company, there must still be some different divisions because Activision is making way better decisions than Blizzard proper from an outsider's perspective.
When's the last time Blizzard made a good decision? I'm not even joking.
Okay, I got one. Not releasing Diablo Immortal. That was probably a good decision.
Did they not release it?
I don't think so. If it's out, I don't know how the fuck to find it. I think they announced it. Everybody made so much fun of them that they were just like, we're just going to not bring any more attention to this Immortal phone thing. I think they just shelved it. I don't think they've talked about it. Okay, apparently it's still listed on their website, but I don't think there's
pre-register for early access.
Yeah, well, that's been available for over a year now. So,
last updated October 30th, 2018.
Yep, they've just been sitting on it.
I mean, was it a good decision to not release that?
I mean, that's the best
China
I can come
would
up
be playing
with.
the shit out of that if they could pump that out in time.
I don't know. It's been a hot minute since I was really confident about... I mean, Warcraft 3, giant fucking mistake.
That was a disaster, the remaster. Heroes of the Storm, complete disaster. Overwatch League, complete disaster.
The last StarCraft expansion didn't really do much to revitalize that whole franchise.
Diablo 4 seems like it might actually be cool, but, I mean, should be a gimme.
Okay, no, but you're touching on something that is true. The one thing that Blizzard still does very well, cinematics. The Diablo 4 announcement cinematic was legitimately 10 out of 10. It gave me chills.
Of course. I mean, it's Diablo. They're banking on 20 years of nostalgia.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be... You can't be impressed by that.
Well, no, I'm impressed by their ability to still make captivating cinematics.
That's true.
You have to admit that team within Blizzard that's just making movies... Those guys need to fucking quit, start their own company, license the IP.
Get a Netflix series.
And just, exactly, dude. Make a Diablo Netflix series in that art style.
Dude,
make a Warcraft 3. Like, all that shit could be badass.
Redo all the storylines from Diablo, and that would be a fucking sick Netflix show.
Yeah, dude. 100%. 100%.
Like, when you find out that she's like the daughter of Diablo, can you imagine how hype that would be? That'd be fucking crazy.
Blizzard
Pardon my
or
English.
Diablo lore has a good foundation to it. I honestly think that's like a relatively untapped area that could be worth a shitload of money. It's like, okay, how do you take this beloved IP that we've been fucking into the ground with all these terrible releases? Well, just make a movie out of it. The Warcraft movie was good.
The poster child and the test baby for that right now is probably Castlevania. I don't know if you've watched it, but I've only heard very good things. I actually plan on watching it.
Does Blizzard own
saving
that?
it. No, it's not Blizzard, but I mean, it's an old video game title.
Oh.
It's got 3 seasons, and it has really high reviews.
Yeah. Well,
but it's basically taking video game lore and making it a game.
Wasn't The Witcher relatively well received on Netflix?
Yeah, that's true. That's another one. Although, I mean, that's also books and stuff, too.
Yeah, okay, fair. But I do. The point is that there is a demand for that. Well done video games turned into shows. I mean, after the last True Sight, we all said if you take that SFM and make that a Dota movie, I would watch the fuck out of it. Even Overwatch, they did. I think at the last BlizzCon, they had some animated short that was like developing the lore of the characters. I was sort of interested in it. I don't really care that much, but the animation was great, the voice acting is great, and the writing was pretty fucking good. I think 5 years from now, we might see Blizzard just pivot into a media creation house instead of a game dev.
Camel Cash is a good point. What about the Warcraft movie?
I thought it was okay. I didn't
see it.
I don't know. I guess mixed reviews, but I remember seeing it on the day it came out and thinking, well, it wasn't so bad. I remember the director they hired specifically had played World of Warcraft, and his big push that he had to fight with Hollywood was to not make it good guys versus bad guys. Because that was what Hollywood didn't get. Hollywood saw it as humans as good guys, orcs as bad guys, humans and orcs fight, good guys win. And he said, listen, half of the player base plays Horde. They're not bad guys. It's just guys fighting for power. We have to make it unified. We can't just make this an alliance movie because that's going to really piss off the fan base. And I think that was a smart move, hiring a director that was so dedicated to telling that part of the story. It wasn't perfect, but I thought the animation was captivating. There were some holes in the lore, but overall, I mean, better than the second Mortal Kombat movie.
So now I actually opened Netflix for a second because I needed to see if Castlevania, how many seasons it had, and I was curious. Post Malone has a movie? I didn't know this. Are you aware of this? Post Malone's in a movie?
No.
Spencer Confidential? Is this popular, guys? Is that not Post Malone? It certainly looks like Post Malone.
I'm not aware of this.
Look at you go, buddy.
Well,
go Post Malone.
It
says starring Mark Wahlberg, Winston Duke, and Alan Arkin. Is that his real name?
I actually have no idea.
Maybe Post Malone just has the picture and he's not really in it.
I would have failed that trivia session.
Mark Wahlberg. Yeah, it looks like he's not actually in it.
But keeping in tradition of wrapping up these podcasts, media recommendations. You've been watching anything good, Big Dog?
Well, I finished Tiger King. I don't know if we discussed that.
So, not really, but apparently they're making another episode of Tiger King. The Jeff Lowe guy announced 2 or 3 days ago that they finished filming, they're working with Netflix, and they're making a follow-up episode that is going to tell some sort of the story as it's continued to evolve since the shit went viral.
Geniuses.
And apparently, Joe Exotic is in it from jail, and apparently he's suing the government for $90 million for wrongful imprisonment,
incarceration,
and some other shit. I don't know. I have no idea, but I'm looking forward to the follow-up here for sure.
Oh, man. It was such trash, but you know what? It was pretty good.
It's entertaining trash. Isn't the end the saddest part, though? Did the chimpanzees hit you in the feels like they did for me?
Okay, that was really sad. You're not wrong.
Like, the literal last, 60 seconds of the show, it's just like, I think I deprived them of social interaction. Yeah, welcome to the rest of us, Joe Exotic. Hello?
Yeah, that was pretty depressing.
I was starting to feel a little bad for Joe until I saw that shit, and I was like, fuck him. Lock him up. Give him a taste of his own medicine. Mary Poppins style. See you later. What do you think? Should he be in jail, Trent?
They painted him in a very favorable light.
Yes.
Throughout most of the show.
Yes.
They try and make you, kind of identify and like feel bad for him in some ways, even though like they still treat him like he's a jerk, which he is. But they never really talk about how he was obviously clearly a meth head.
Yes.
And clearly taking advantage of young boys, and like he did a lot of shit that they don't really touch on. They kind of try and make you gloss over it until you go, hey, wait a second, that's kind of fucked up.
Yes. The recruitment of basically straight young men and trying to convince them that they're homosexual because you want to bang them, that is the definition of predatory behavior. I guess they're all adults, so yeah, it's legal, but Jesus Christ, dude, that is so fucked up and manipulative. That was one of my favorite parts about it, when that producer guy is just like, yeah, Joe, he ain't gay. He's been running around banging all the girls on the farm and you're just not paying attention. It's just like, yeah, that's what you get, Joe. And then he fucking leaves because he gets one of the girls pregnant. It's like, yeah. And then, of course, like after those two guys ditch, he gets remarried to this other guy in like, what, 2 months or something?
Yeah, and it invites the mom, and she's the only one there.
So grody.
Ugh.
Jesus Christ.
I hated that.
Yeah. You're right. They do really gloss over the meth abuse. And that's...
I mean, I guess it's just not that interesting, right?
Yeah, but it still speaks to his character. It speaks to some of the rash decision-making, or lack thereof, right?
The thing that really got me was I started rethinking about, like, how many episodes, the crazy things they show him doing to the Carol Baskin. Like, the, shooting the doll and telling he's gonna kill her and put her head in a jar and all this stuff. And I thought, other people probably have a different reaction to this than I do, because I'm used to that kind of stuff being said about my friends and my coworkers, and just seeing just blatant, like, oh my God, I want to fuck so-and-so in the so-and-so.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen that typed about all, what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
Like, if you're like the average person watching that, you should be really freaked out by the idea that there's a guy with a show shooting a doll of you.
Yes. That is...
And I wasn't even that fazed by it until near the end of the show. I'm like, wait, that's like, shouldn't you be arrested for that? That's kind of fucked up.
You're getting pretty goddamn close to a death threat at that point, I think.
Yeah.
No, I agree. The one thing I thought was kind of fucked up from the prosecution was the way, I mean, this is what the FBI does. It's all about painting the picture. But the way they dug up those tiger bodies and were just like, look, he's been killing tigers. Part of me was like, okay, wait a second now. He's got 200 tigers. They do die of natural causes sometimes. You do need to dispose of the corpses. I don't think burying dead tigers is any sort, like, of all the other shit that he's done.
Holes.
Like, is that
was the whole point. He shot them.
Did he, though? Did they prove that?
That's what they said. They said that they were killed.
Yeah, but like, dude, you euthanize animals. If a tiger breaks its leg, what do? You don't put it in a cast. You fucking shoot it and put it to sleep. That's
why.
Because, like,
not a horse. Can it recover?
It depends on what it is. But I'm just saying, like, euthanasia with animals is a relatively common practice, and that to me was a big stretch of like, okay, yeah, maybe you killed him. If it's a terminal tiger, like with animals, you end suffering. That is a very real thing.
Sure.
So like, I just felt like that was one part that I felt bad for Joe, where I was like, all right, this is a little disingenuous. This is way different from like what they thought the Doc Angle guy was doing of killing adult tigers just so he can breed young ones and just like churning them out like a factory. That's not what I think Joe was doing. Like, tigers do die, and you got to do something with them. Is that really so egregious? I didn't think so, but maybe I was just numbed from watching 7 episodes of The Tiger King. I don't know.
The worst part is I almost started, if it wasn't for your stream last night, I was going to rewatch it. Because as much as I have to admit, it was very captivating. Like, I just was constantly shocked at so many things in that show.
Yeah, I mean,
mostly about the way that you can treat animals, and like the animals that you're allowed to have blew my mind.
I think the way Slacks painted it and What the Duck was about perfect. It was the people filmed it with that. We're going to capture everything, and we are going to fuck these people over at some point in the future. And that's what makes it so good. It's not just that it's a wild story. It's that they have so much real footage of them doing shit.
I wonder what happens to Doc.
He's probably in the follow-up. He posted a big blog that he was very upset with how he was portrayed, and that there are men that work at his facility and that they did selective editing to make it seem like he only hired women. But in his whole little post and spiel, which he has deleted since, mind you, he talks about how, I mean, yeah, there's men and women there, but, you know, I am a single guy. And what, do you expect me not to do the things a single guy would? It's like, yes, Doc, I do expect you not to bang all of the virgins that you hired specifically because they were young, attractive women. That's a little culty, dog. It's a little weird that you changed your name to Bhagavan Doc Angle. What the fuck is that? You've clearly got some ego issues. That guy freaks me the fuck out, man. I'm not a Doc fan.
I like it. All right, so here's one of his quotes from his thing that I just looked up. This is not a documentary. This is a salacious, outrageous ride through a television show produced to create drama, to just tie you into some crazy train wreck of a story between the feud of Carol Baskin and Joe Exotic, Antle said. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, basically his big complaint is, well, I wanted to do the show when I thought it was about me, but then when I realized it was actually about other people, I didn't want to do it anymore, so I got duped. It's like, yeah, fuck you and your ego there, bud.
Wow. Questions about Carol and Joe were a dozen or so thrown into hundreds of others, and I repeatedly told them I have no desire to be involved in some show where you got the feud of Carol and Joe going on. It's not my thing, he said. Leave me out of it. That doesn't really ring true with a lot of the answers you gave, my dude.
Yep. Yeah, the dude's full of shit. And I also love that, like, can you imagine being that camera crew and you're asking this guy thousands of questions knowing you only want, like, 0.1% of the answers? And you're sitting there blowing smoke up his ass. You're like, the interviewer's just like, oh, fascinating. Yeah, show us, where did you do the time? Oh, fascinating. So, oh, by the way, do you ever hear of that Carol Baskins girl? Oh, no worries, man. You're just blowing smoke up his ass for months to distill that, like, 30 minutes worth of content where he actually talks about the relevant shit. Genius.
Wow.
I did finally see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the new Tarantino film. Did you see it?
Yeah, I thought it was a very interesting, classic Tarantino, dude.
Yes. I thought it was
his movies
fantastic.
Just feels so different.
Yeah, dude. No CGI. All that shit's fucking real. Like, they like redid the strip. Like, a lot of movies where they're just driving around, I'm like, all right, what the fuck is this? The cinematographer is just jerking off to his own work. This was like, they replaced all of downtown LA with 60s stuff. All the cars, all the like, just the writing. I think this was one of Leo's best movies. I mean, he's fantastic always, but this was like, just, I don't have the right word for it. I just thought it was truly, if you like Tarantino, absolutely fantastic.
Yep. It's not I think his movies are just so different because they don't follow the same flow that every other stupid movie does. Introduction. Here are the characters. Something funny happens. Disaster. Slowly building towards some sort of fix for the disaster. Happy ending. His movies are just like this weird ride. I don't know. I feel like there's not a lot of ups and downs in his movies. It's all like a pretty slow, even pace, but I feel enthralled the whole time.
Yes, absolutely.
Good. I like him.
Highly recommend. If you haven't seen it yet, get on it. Get on it, man.
But that's all the time I have today.
Okay. Well, that's a wrap, folks. Another Shared Tangos down. I believe next episode, our goal with the call-ins is to go every other episode and see how that goes. So we'll be back next week. And
maybe some ESL talk, depending on... I think they're... let's see. When is their Europe CIS over? Looks like it finishes the 19th. So we'll be nearing the end of it around then. That'll be interesting. The group stages will be nearly done. We'll have a better picture as to who's on top in Europe and CIS. That'll be fun.
All right, sweet. So we'll focus in on ESL, maybe take a couple questions, and we'll catch you all next time. Thank you so much for watching Shared Tangos or listening. We'll be back next time. Bye-bye.